Okay, here's section 11, checking the RC equipment and attaching the servo horn and all that. So we're going to work on that for a second. So here's my servo, which is going to be a ProTech RC. High torque digital low profile servo, because you need a low profile for the front of the vehicle. There's the specs on the back of it. PTK 140T, high voltage. Yeah, that's just a name thing. That's a PTK 140T. Yep, okay. Alright, so this process, we've got to build the servo saver. So I determined that the Tamiya servo horn or servo piece is what fits. So that's what we're gonna use. Okay. So MB18, it's gonna be one of these. So there's the thing that you gotta. Those are both the same. So there's the thing about snapping that first one in there to go. It clips on those the two ledges right there. That one pushed on. The second one. Ow. Ow. There we go. But it's not completely on. Nope. I gotta move it. There we go. Okay, that one has to set over that one like that, so you have the first one and then the second one, okay? And finally this last one, same thing. Push it on from the back, try to get it centered when you start it. Yeah, there we go. And it's not centered. There we go. And make sure that it is all the way on. Yep, there, it's all three of them are set. Okay, so I got those. Then, that has got to go in there, so that is going to go centered. So that goes up top, just like that. And push it together. Makes a compact kit. There we go. Okay, then that, actually we're going to go ahead and put that piece on. So it takes those two. So it's going to go from there to there with the ball end up. You can probably screw it on most of the way with just pressure. And then find your multi-socket tool. There we go. And then that is a 2. That's going to be 2 millimeters. And tighten that down. Okay. That's built. That. Okay, so servo horn is built going that way. Notice that you have your servo like that with the wire leading off to the left. Now before we do all that, and I screw that on, we're going to plug everything in and double check everything. Alright, so this is your ESC, the electronic speed controller. This is your receiver for your remote. There's my remote. I have the RC6GS by Radiolink, the 7-channel, with the R7FG receiver. It does have the telemetry setup, but I'm going to have to make my own cable for that, which that'll end up being later. Okay, make sure the switch is not marked. Awesome. I'll have to make sure it's on and off. Hopefully that's off. Okay, so easiest way to remember is your steering servo, which is steering. So channel 1 is basically, remember, 1 to turn, 2 to burn. Thing is, you got to make sure you get your polarity right, okay? So you have the signal, and then you have positive and negative. So make sure, generally white is the signal, red is positive, and your black is negative or your ground. So we're going to go just like that and put it into channel 1. So as you can see, the very first one is usually the first channel at the top, channel 1. We're going to go ahead and plug that in. That's the servo. We're going to move the ESC over there. So this is the main lead from the servo. That's going to be your channel number 2. So again, they did it in 3 different colors. Awesome. All right, so red is usually positive. Boy, I don't remember if ground. Well, yeah, it can only fit in one way. Let me see how this one goes. That'll tell me. Okay, so it goes up. Okay, so it's going to go like that. So that should be your positive, ground, and negative. Okay, that's a castle link, so that's a Sidewinder 4. Okay, hang on 1 second. Okay, so my camera kind of fell. Hopefully everything is still working and functioning. Just trying to pull the battery part apart. So I got that apart. That's my adapter. I'm going to put that back on. So anyway, got all that set. I'm going to unplug all these parts now. Remember, don't ever pull them by the wires. Okay. Alright, so now we can finish going on. Alright, everything is off. Okay, so that's all done in that regard. I need to just screw that part down, so let's move that there. We got that there. Okay. Yes, MA2. Yeah, MA2, so it's going to go into there. And I got that adjusted, so I'm happy. Okay. That is good to tight. That is tight. All right. Oh. Okay, there we go. Okay, guys, that was moving this stuff out of the way. Don't move. Don't fall. That was 11, setting up all the electronics. And now we're going to start building the steering linkage. Okay. On to 12 in a second. On to 12.